I was going to hide you. That's okay. Hi, everybody. I know we got a delay, so I'm going to wait. Nope, it's not Walter. Let me know that you can hear me, and we'll get going. Hi, Shirley. Hi, Francie. And then I will I mean, some of you might know if you recognize the computer screen or the desktop, but just want to make sure y'all can hear me first before we talk and all that good stuff. Happy Wednesday. Yes. And me. Okay, I'm seeing Hayes, so that means you can hear me, right, Walter and Francie? Right? Thumbs up. Hi, Mama. We're not on camera tonight because the computer is being stupid. Okay, hear me loud and clear. My special guest tonight is Melissa. Say
Hi,
hi.
y'all. It is me.
So we're going to kind of play together. Hi, Solana. Hi, Ellen. If we talk over each other, I apologize. I just wanted to say first that thank you for bearing with me. I have moved. So my craft room is in one house with the Wi-Fi, and the rest of everything is at my new house across town. So what's one of the reasons why we are not on camera? I'm not on camera tonight, neither is Melissa, because the acoustics weren't working well. So anyway, do you want to talk about what would you want me to introduce the bundle quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it's the Fall Splendor bundle. I did link everything in the link box below on there. It is I'm going to show you a little picture of it here. The retro rainbow paper pad, the Zig Zag Stencil, the Fall Foliage Die set. We have Fallen Snow Glitter Glaze, Gilded Embossing Powder, Copper Shimmer, Aqua Pigment, Raven Aqua Splash, Brown Butter, and Buttercream. And I think Francie's going to, sorry, I keep saying Francie because I'm looking at her comments. Melissa is going to use macchiato and like a white cardstock. And then we have our card bases. Um, that was one of the, we're kind of showcasing how you can use different colors if you don't have the exact color we have. This bundle is normally $79.91 and it is right now available for $50. It's called the 2024 Fall Splendor. So we're going to kind of play off each other and talk to each other and try to answer questions and see how we go. So if you want to talk about what you're going to do, and then I will
Yeah.
kind of go for it.
Let me just say some real quick highs
Yeah.
to Shalana and Francie and hi Sissy. Hi Walter and hi Shirley and hi Ellen. Thanks so much for joining. So I will be making I guess it's called a tri-fold card, and it's going to start out with a long base. So, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get started because there's just a few pieces, even though I prepped, there's a few things that I still need to do, and that's scoring. So, Candi, if you don't mind, let me just talk about this base, and then I'm gonna do just.
Yep, you do your scoring. I'm gonna do some die cutting. You do some scoring.
Okay. So with this base, if y'all wanna make this, you're gonna start off with a 5.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and you're going to score at 1.25. Stay on the track. 5.5 and 9.25. And then how you're going to fold this is, let's see if I can do this right. Fold in half, then your 9.25 folds out, and then your 1.25 folds over. And that's going to leave you with this nice little fun fold that's going to fan out. And then so I'm going to just start decorating this. I'm going to do a little bit of cutting. Candi, if you want to talk about what you're making.
Yeah, and if you, Melissa, tomorrow or later tonight, if you want to send me the measurements, I can put those in the description box. Like the measurements for that with the scoring.
Yeah.
So I am also making kind of a fun fold. I am making a mini slim, shocker, right? Easel card. So I have a piece of buttercream here. It's 8.5 by 11, and I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. I like mine to be 3.25 by 6. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces down to 3.25. And I have 1 piece of Not Your Mama's cut down to 3.25 by 6. And then I'm going to cut one at 6, one of my buttercream at 6. This is my back of my card. And then this one is going to be 6.25. And I just kind of, I luckily eyeballed my little tape here because this only goes to 6. And it actually is 6.25. So I was really excited about that. I eyeballed that a while ago. So the reason I needed to do that is 6.25. And if I did not bring my scoring board with me, you guys, I'm going to be okay. Whew. I've been running back and forth. Francie, I love the easel card. So the only really big thing with that is the measurement is the 6.25, and I'm going to score it at 6 on one side. And I learned this from watching a video the other day, like a short, that I'm going to score it on both sides just to kind of make sure that that flap is very, very well, and then kind of fold it over. And then I just took a mini slim die from my stash, a rectangle die. This is an added extra. I think I did. It's here somewhere. And I want to cut, I'm going to cut a window out. And this isn't required, but I thought it would be fun. And all I did was line it up on my desk and kind of make sure it's straight. And I'm just going to make it straight for my eyeballs. So I thought this was kind of a fun card when I saw one being made the other day. And I just was like, oh, I can do that. I love mini slims. They're my favorite. You guys all know that. So Melissa, while we're crafting and I'm cutting here, I'm going to ask you just a couple of basic questions, if that's okay.
Yep.
So how long have you been crafting?
Oh, actually,
Paper
since
crafting.
I was probably about 4 years old, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, so when I was little, my mom was a Girl Scout leader for my sister's troop.
Okay.
And so there were always crafts there. My mom is a crafter. And so it's just something that I've always grown up around. My grandma crocheted. My mom knitted, but I honestly don't remember that time. That must have been when I was like really little. But anyway, so I've always been around crafting.
Okay.
But paper crafting, I think like many of us, we started out going to a stamping party, and that was me about gosh, almost 30 years ago. And I started out just by going to a party, and then I became a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I did that for a long time. And yeah,
Okay.
and then it just kind of
blossomed from there.
Never looked back.
That is what mine too. I started at a party. I see. You're using Gilded. She's using the crosshatch stencil instead of the Zig stencil, which shows you another. That's another option you can do. I wanted to say I used my. That's all right, Francie. You don't have to be. I used my base to just line up my other piece so that I would cut my window out to make it so it matches as close as we can get. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and gild this. So
I'm going to turn on my heat tool. Do you want to mute me or something?
Well, let's see how loud you are first, because sometimes it mutes itself.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I don't know if I can mute you. Oh, I think I can mute her. I got her muted, guys. Okay. For now. So I'm going to go ahead and talk for a minute while she's doing that. I'm going to go ahead and just use some double-sided tape, if I can find it here. Like I said, I am just been all over the place. I never learned I could mute somebody on this, so that's good to know. Good practice for me. So I just got to keep an eye on it while she's muting. So she used the crosshatch stencil, and I believe that's the Gilded. We'll get that going here, and I'm going to use the Zig on mine. I'm just going to use some double-sided tape I did try this with some glue last night. Oh, Ruth, the secret guest is Melissa. And I will change that tomorrow with in the title. and I will put Stamping Live with Melissa and Candi. I just thought, kind of wanted to do a fun little thing. I'll have some special guests coming up in the next little while just to practice with us and go live. So, hi, Christy. I believe that's you. Ruth, thanks for joining us. Looks like we're almost done here. I'm going to unmute her. There we go. You're unmuted. I didn't know I could do that, Melissa.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you guys saw this, but we're not always perfect in crafting. I got a very messy, dirty cardstock, but I'm going to make it work because I'm going to cover it. So I just used some double-sided tape and I'm going to quick put this together. And this is our base. Yes, I said this was an easel card. I didn't show you that part yet. Melissa. Melissa is on the design team. It's Melissa Craig. We're on the inspiration team with us. And she has been crafting with us all year. And you've been seeing her projects. She lives on another part of the country than me, where time zone. She's closer to my daughter than me.
I am.
Yeah, which
I live in Central Florida.
Yeah, and she's in Northeast Florida, and I live in Iowa, Ruth. So, and she wanted to do a live, and she really hadn't done a live before for Brutus Monroe. So I said, "You want to come live with me, and we'll craft together at the same time." So we're both creating projects. One last thing, and then I'll let you talk if you want there, to Melissa. Is I'm going to score a piece here at 3 inches, which is halfway. And I'm scoring it on the inside so that it can bend properly. So, do you have a favorite Brutus Monroe product?
To
It's
use
okay.
or to look at?
Huh? What did you say?
To use or to look at?
Well, they could be both of different things, I suppose.
So I honestly do have a favorite that is strictly look at, because it's just so darn cute. And that is the little honey. What's it called? Honey?
Oh, the faux honey.
Yeah, faux honey. That little honey bear just makes me so happy.
Melissa, I've only used it once myself too. It's sitting up above right up this way. I can see mine. It's only been used once because it's so cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see, Francie says she's in good company. My measurements were quite right, so I'm cutting my end off here. Hi, Tia. That's my sister. So, so next,
Hi,
I'm going to
Tia.
go ahead. Yeah, Tia's my big sister. I'm the second of 4. So, I'm going to go ahead and use this. And if there's something you want to do, some little storytelling or talking there, Melissa, I'm going to do some Gilded with my frame here on my Not Your Mama's, and then I will mute myself while I am heat embossing.
Okay. Well, right now I'm just cutting the layers to decorate my different panels. And so I'm going just a 1/4 inch smaller. So this first piece measures 1¼ inches wide by 5½ inches. So my first strip is 1 inch, and then the next one, it will be 1½ inches. Thank you, Christy. Hello. I've gotten back into painting my nails again. I go through these phases, and this color doesn't change though, Christy. I had last week, I had on this color that it changes if you get cold. Well, I'm in Florida, so it's never going to change unless I go stick my hands in the freezer. But anyway, it turns kind of black. It's really cool. But anyway, so this week is red. But anyway, so I'm just decorating my layers. And then I will work on making a belly band and then my focal point. Belly band. Okay, let me put these on here. And I'm a gluer. I know a lot of people like to use dry adhesive, but not me. I like that extra time using wet glue. And my go-to glue is Barely Art. What is your favorite, Candy? Do you're more of a dry adhesive kind of girl, aren't you? Oh wait, I think she's still on mute because she's still heat gunning over there.
Yes, I was. I think I turned myself back on properly. I've never done that before either. Woohoo!
Yep,
Um,
you're back on.
I do. If I'm going to do wet glue, it's going to be Barely Arts. If I'm going to do for like my big panels, I tend to use my ATG tape gun. That's kind of a newer thing for me, um, because like I said, if you didn't do like just a card panel, that's faster for me. But yes, otherwise I like Barely Arts mostly too.
Oh, that's right. Your ATG gun. I told you about my
Yeah.
ATG gun. I got into a big fight with that, and it won, but I won because I threw it away.
Yeah.
I was I was just done.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, I was a scrapbooker at heart, so that's kind of where I came with that. And I have a girlfriend who buys I share a case of it with, and we buy it all together. And so I don't- we buy a case a couple once or twice a year. There's three of us that buy it. So, but Barely Arts is my go-to. Of course, it's clogging tonight. I'm ready. I've been trying to get rid of this. I thought for sure I was going to be out back in January when it was out of stock, and I'm still using my very first bottle and refill.
Wow.
And I've had it for I would say almost 2 years. It just seems like, and I use it. It just we don't need a lot. So, uh,
Yeah.
but my
I,
obviously most people know what my favorite Bruce Smurl products are is the pearl stuff, pearl aqua shimmer or pearl aqua pigment. Oh shoot, I just screwed that up. Ha ha.
well, it was definitely your fault that I got the Pearl Aqua pigment. Um, and I do like that a lot.
Right.
I do. I think it's your fault I got the pearl embossing powder too. And that looks so pretty. Like if you stamp in a solid color
Mm-hmm.
and then I this is where using the Misty is a good idea. Um, but then stamp right over the top of it with embossing ink and
Yes,
put the pearl on there. Oh my goodness, it looks so pretty.
it does. It's a very pretty color. So, what I did wrong is I accidentally put glue on my entire back of my frame. And you
Oh,
can't do that for an easel card. So I just grabbed my sample I made last night and I glued it down. But of course, it's not the same measurements. So, yes, the trick with liquid glue, you need very little dot, 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 not a lot.
yep.
So, we are full into full mood, I think. Both Francie and I are, or Francie, I keep saying it. Francie, you just keep talking on the chat. Melissa. I'm so used to answering her too when she's, usually in the lives too. So, but Melissa and I were discussing what we were going to use, and I said, and she was like, let's make a fall card and use this. So I've only used the fall foliage really a little bit of time. So yeah, I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive just to my bottom here of my frame, and then we're going to start decorating too.
I have so many ideas with this fall foliage die set, and it's just wow.
Not
to,
enough
to just
time.
bring it all out, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, there's not enough time, and that's part of the problem. There's not enough time for all the time and stuff in grass. I think that's funny. I'm sorry. Yeah,
Yeah.
Francie thinks it's funny. I keep calling you Francie. So, so this is going to need to dry a little bit so that it can stick. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick um my acrylic block on top. And then for my stencil, I did not do this live, so you're gonna have to forgive me. Hi, Lisa. I used the Zig Zag stencil with the brown butter. And I was telling Melissa this earlier. This is the linen velveteen glaze on here. And so it ends up giving this beautiful kind of tone on tone look because of the color. I mean, this is what it looks like.
Oh yeah, that's
Isn't
so
that pretty?
pretty.
And then, and because I was being very lazy, I just used a makeup sponge to put it on quick because I knew I only needed a little, but I wanted to make sure it dried in time. So I am only using the stencil a very little bit this time. But you could totally use the stencil instead of cutting a window. You could use the stencil on the front of this. See how we have,
Oh yeah,
so this is going to be kind of a basic of our card here.
gorgeous.
So, all right, you've
Oh,
got one of my other favorite die sets out, I see.
that's what I was gonna say. Is you asked about what is my favorite? This is my favorite. This is my absolute go-to die set. For almost everything. I mean, I love this set. So yeah,
And that
there's
set is,
my favorite. It is called the Easy Elements die set.
yes.
If you want to search it, it is BRU4409.
Yes, it is a very nice go-to set that came out with in a great release, and it's been one that I grab all the time because you can do so much with it.
Yep. Yep. It is a great little set.
Okay. So I just used some Barely Arcs glue to add my little circle on there, and I'm going to put my little stamp thing on, or my little block on there again, just to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm going to start adhering some of I have a bunch of my die cuts together. Hi, Lisa, if we didn't say hi. Francie, you do a tone on tone one tonight. It's really a pretty look. It turned out a lot different than I expected it to. But I die cutted a bunch of the flowers or the leaves and stuff out. So I'm just going to kind of start gluing those together for different things. And we're just going to make my stuff decorated. We'll start using it, Christy. It's great. Falls on our top of us. It's a good
Well,
snack.
and if you live here in Florida, you have to make your fall because
Yeah.
Mother Nature doesn't do it for you.
Well, I know fall is not officially here yet until September 21st, whatever, but I am like, bring on the cold weather, bring on the freezing weather, because it kills all the bugs. And then our leaves start turning. Now my mother and my sister, my baby sister and a friend of ours came to see me this past weekend, and they were like, that tree has colored leaves. And I'm like, well, we are a month ahead of you. I'm sorry if you're not ready for fall, but I am. I wanted to point out, I don't know if you guys, there's this tiny little acorn in this die set that has those little pieces, and it stayed in the die, and I really didn't want to put more in. So I just used a little pixie tape to hold it in place. And then I have one where they fell out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab the base for the acorn, and I'm going to just glue it behind, and that's going to give it a tone on tone look. So see that? So yeah, Francie, that's the way it's been here. It's supposed to be 75s next week, so I'm looking forward to that. So do you have any specific way you choose your pattern paper when you do pattern paper?
Do I have
like any tips or tricks that you use, or how do you choose when you're using different patterns? Like tonight you have different patterns.
No, it's kind of like and I know I'm not going to say this right,
That's
but
okay.
I have a dear friend. We all have a dear friend, and his name is Walter.
Okay.
And
I have a friend named Walter.
and Walter has such a poetic way of talking about his cards and letting them tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I'm portraying or relaying that correctly, Walter. But to me, I kind of just let the card tell me what it wants to do.
Okay.
And I start with a general idea. And when I was first designing this card to try to get ready for this live and what am I going to do? I mean, you should see my trash can. It is
Oh,
full of failed attempts.
well, it's just paper.
It is
You did.
just paper.
Melissa,
And
he says, "Aw," so you did say it right.
um so yeah, I think that's kind of how I go about it is I start with one general idea and we'll just see where that takes me and go from there.
Okay, I got to warn Francie to get her glasses on because I'm getting out my pokey tool here.
Oh, goggles on,
Yeah,
Francie.
goggles on. So I have found that, okay, so, there's not really a wrong way to do these dies, but I am following the package closely. I chose this one up in the corner, and so I'm sticking the leaves behind. And then I have this and this piece here. And so I just flipped it over backwards. And there's 5 small ones and one big one, and the big one's the one that goes on top. And I'm not really worried about if they're going the same direction. They kind of have a tip on them, but when you look at dies like this that you have to put together, some people think that they're a lot of work, and I just say go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm missing a small one, so we're just going to put a big one. There's going to be another big one leaves. That's okay. It'll make it work. I have a lot of yellow on my in my cards here. I did grab a little macchiato and a little phone book yellow to kind of add some more color in on this. So Ellen gets to see 75 in the middle of the night or on the weather map. Yeah, I'm over this. So okay, so I'm going to start assembling. Are you what are you doing with yours? Or I see you're just
Yep. So
playing.
what I'm doing right here is these dies. The a couple of the leaf dies have this really great embossed
Yep.
detail on them. That is fine, but I kind of wanted to add color. So what I'm doing is I just tapped some pokey tool, tapped some ink directly onto the die, and I'm just kind of smushing it on there. You can run it through your die cut machine with
Okay.
the embossing pad, but for the light bit of color that I want, I mean, just pressing it on there
Yep.
does well enough. Can you all see that? So it just adds a little bit of detail, and then you just it's
Yep.
just metal. It's gonna wash right off.
Yeah. And that's where, okay, so I'm actually going to do this. This is a little bit. I'm adding, I know we've got Gilded. We also got Copper Shimmer here. Penny just joined us. She got a little bit, she didn't get the notification on time. So you are fine for this time. We'll forgive you. And I'm just going to grab a lot of this Copper Shimmer, and I'm just going to kind of wipe some of these brown butter leaves with it, just to give it some extra shimmer and another color, because I have very lot of the same kind of color and just that little pop of orange in my card tonight. But I'm trying to do things in odd numbers if I can for some parts. So, and by just brushing it on, it just gives it that little bit of shimmer, and it won't take that long to dry. Oops, except I have no water. Let me see here. I got a water.
Do you ever heat your
My heat my
like your shimmer sprays and stuff?
I do sometimes, but most of the time, I'll be honest, when I use with stuff when it's wet, I try to do it ahead of time and let it, like I plan to do some things. Oh, Ruth just got this die set. That's awesome, Ruth. And it's fun die set to use. But I try to, unless it's a big piece, I don't usually do a lot because, like, if I put it in my splat box, sometimes I will heat emboss them or heat set them, but I would like to get the Ranger one that has the drying setting on it, I think, so that it doesn't blow everything around. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I do have a hair dryer, but and it has those different settings on it, but I
Mm-hmm.
never ever remember to take it out of the bathroom, which is kind of a crazy place for me to have a hair dryer because I don't ever blow dry my hair.
Hey, I'm the same way. I've got a hair dryer in the dryer in there, and I never use mine either. Very rarely. I will once in a while when I'm like, I take a shower kind of late. I never go to bed with a wet head, because my hair will go. I'll have Farrah Fawcett lion mane head in the morning. So I mean, it's crazy. Like I can't even get a brush through it. So I try to at least dry it mostly. So if I take a shower really late at night. So, but no, I never use my hair dryer almost ever anyway. And I tried to get my dog to get used to it, but Flesh was like, nope, not having it, Mom. No way.
Mm.
So I'm just going to go ahead and add some of these foliage here and there and decide what I want. And I might add some stuff. Ruth likes the Ranger one. She says she likes it. Know that it has the two settings, and I like the fact that I would probably only use it for drying.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I didn't know Ranger had one. I knew Wow has one, but
or maybe
I think that's upside down.
I know there's one. Maybe it's here. I don't know. It's one on the site. I know it looks like a little hair dryer, and I don't know who has it. Sure, to be honest with you, Melissa, I could be speaking wrong. I apologize, but I know Ranger must have one because she says she has one. But
Yeah.
I haven't done because I am in my little crafty area is a former front porch of this 100-year-old house. So there isn't a ton of room. And not that I want to buy a ton of stuff in my new room, which is bigger. It's just that I want to replace certain tools that I've had for a long time. Like I have one of the original Misties and it's still fine, but it's falling apart because I've used it so much. So I need to replace it because that's a main tool that I need to, keep.
Yeah.
But okay, she said it's about $25 for the Ranger one. I might have to look into that one.
It's not
Just
bad.
because it's nice. I know that you can dry settings on has a dry setting on it. So I'm using a little bit of foam tape to just kind of add some of these pieces here and there. I feel like I need some more color.
The
I just
heat tool that I have, I mean, it's got to be 30 years old. I'm pretty sure
Sure.
I know I've had this since always, since I started paper crafting. So, and I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
I try to not get suckered in by all the ooh, it's new and shiny and pretty and I want to get this.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
although I do have to admit I did do that with the Scout.
Oh,
Um,
I'm regretting that decision really badly. And my honey just told me, "Do you need a new one?" I said, "I want a Scout, but I'm gonna have to wait. That'll be my Christmas present to myself."
yeah. I went ahead and I did it and I but I mean it wasn't a bad decision. I really do like it and it does have, some
Hmm.
extra cutting space to what I did have. So it wasn't a bad decision, but
Sure.
I still just try to keep myself reined in.
When it
You
comes to
don't need a
tools and
new heat
things,
gun until this
yeah.
one dies. And
Yep, I've been a big proponent. I'd rather have, to be honest with you, I'd rather have new stamps and dies. So that's where my saying always, that's where my thoughts always go. And that's the thing is, I had mine was old and it was sitting here, and I had a project due last year for a design team, and it was like Saturday night. So it's our projects are due on Sunday. Um, and I'm sitting there going, "Oh no, I have to use some embossing. I'm doing embossing powder. What am I going to do?" Well, it just so happened that my boss is a a realtor. His daughter was helping somebody, and she was having a garage sale, and she was having one, and a lady had the exact same embossing gun as me. And she had it for sale in a garage sale. So I called her up. I said, "Do you still have that?" She goes, "Yeah." And I said, "I'm on my way." And I ran up, and she was just looking at me. I'm like, "No, I'm serious. Mine just died." And I was like, "Score. I didn't have to spend a lot of money." I mean, it wasn't full price, obviously, but I was like so excited that I was like really at this point ready to pay anything because I'm like, I need to heat emboss. So,
yeah.
and it was the exact same one, same color and everything.
Wow. Well,
Oh, Wagner scares me, Francie, because I know they're super strong, and I know you would be yelling at me as I'm heat setting with my fingers.
oh yeah,
So
that one scares me too. And who was it? Somebody I was talking to or chatting with or or maybe I was watching a live. I have no idea. I don't remember where I heard this, but used to do embossing with a toaster. Wow.
I
And
have
that's
heard
like,
that before too. I was
are
like, hey,
you really taking lots of chances with that? You know, it's paper.
yeah,
It's gonna
exactly.
ignite.
Yeah. Oh, so Kate dropped and broke her original heat tool her first week. Oh boy.
Oh
I I
no.
don't know if Melissa heard me tell this story before, but the very first time I ever heat embossed anything was at one of these parties, and I really didn't know what I was doing, and I burnt it, and I burnt the paper badly, and I kind of shied away from it ever since then for a long time because I was just so scared that I didn't know what I was going to do, what I was doing. So I think that's kind of funny. So, well, I'm kind of getting a little cluster here. I think I need to add a little bit more yellow because I have that one yellow thing here. And then I think I'm going to kind of look into a, uh, a sentiment and see what else, and then make some splatter. I wanted to show that this die I did not cut mine properly because, sometimes our plates get warped and the die won't cut because of certain spots. I'm going to use it anyway, and I'm going to stick it in the corner, and that you're never going to see that part.
Yeah. Look how pretty that is, Candy. I love it.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to add some splatter to it, but we're going to do that at the end so that, I don't have to worry about it being wet. So I think yours is fun. I didn't see. Can you show me how the belly band works on that? I wasn't looking because
Yeah.
I've been crafting.
So I just wrapped it around to the back. Just so I get your dents. And then when you do a belly
Okay.
band, of course, you don't want to go super tight.
Okay.
But
So it is
then,
like you just slide off. Okay. I wasn't
yeah.
sure if it was attached type of belly band or like a clasp type belly band.
No, ooh,
Oh,
I should have done a magnet, put a clasp on it. That'd be fun.
oh, I did. I did. I mean, I just wasn't really watching because I'm obviously crafting.
Yeah.
I tend to do that a lot. I'll watch a live and craft and kind of miss it. Then I have to go back and watch that. Thanks, Francie. She said we both have great color stories going on here.
The, the colors, I actually just drew inspiration from the packaging. I love it so much.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very pretty.
and so it was like, oh well, I don't have to think about these colors. I
Nope.
have them. That's awesome. So
Yes. All right. I did these, but I'm not going to use them because I'm gotten a lot of yellow going on. So these are just going to go in a bin to use for the next time. Kind of liking, I need to add a little bit of something else here, but I don't know what. I might I might grab another color here quick and do a quick die cutting. I'm thinking I got this piece right here.
yeah.
Oh, I was looking. Oh, Kate, boy, I understand your first die cutting machine. Oh, I totally understand.
I think
I
that's
was telling
right.
Melissa earlier, I was having a heck of a day because I have something else I need to do tonight. And like I said, I'm at my other house and I spent 2 hours looking for my circus stuff, you guys. And I literally found it. I'm freaking out. I even ran back to the other house, told my honey that I was looking for it. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I said, "I'm just thinking about what I got to do. I can't find my circus stuff. I am going nuts." And I'm like, "What am I going to do?" And I found it just before we went live. And I was like, "Woohoo." So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the berries. And I'm just going to cut these berries and just add some red berries and not put them on the stick. That was an event, Kate. It sounds like her die cutting or her she dropped her heat tool the first week, and her cats broke her die cutting machine the first week.
Oh no.
Yeah, I would almost given up too. Except that I do like to craft. Felt like the only thing I do besides that's all I really do. Besides watch Harry Potter. I just don't do much else. Not anymore. Now that my kids are all grown and gone away. So yeah, so these berries, let me see if I can get one off. They have the little cut out to them. I'm not going to worry about that part so much. I might just tuck that part in. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to our live. My special guest this week is Melissa.
Hi, Kelly.
And we are crafting with the Fall Splendor bundle and having some fun with that. And we are creating a couple different fun foldy type cards. And it's became a challenge. Yes, Kate, I guess so. I'm gonna do some of that and grab another one here. Let's see. What has been the biggest challenge you think you've had to kind of overcome while you were crafting? That's a kind of a loaded question, I think, but
The
something just popped into my head.
biggest challenge.
That you think you've had to, whether it's something, a technique or just anything. It doesn't,
Um,
if there has been one.
I don't think that I've overcome it, and that's I really want to do um, watercolor, and
Okay.
I'm just
Scared?
not good at it.
I
you
bet you
know,
you're better than you think. That is mine too. That is really, truly mine too. And I took an event a few years ago and had to do it. I made my very first watercolor card. Learned a few things from it. One being that I shouldn't have listened to the part of the thing that I learned from the instructor is that her being a pro and me not, we used no line coloring ink, and I should have used black so I knew what I was doing. Just so I could see what I was doing. But I've done that Lucy thing now, and now I've learned you got to walk away.
yeah. So Melissa, you have a good point there too. That's a good thing to try to overcome, and that's
Yep.
using the supplies you have on hand.
Yes.
That's definitely a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Ruth, she says for her, it's doubting what you make. Um, and I get that too. You always look at something and you're like, well, did okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just what are other people gonna say? And when you have somebody, you show somebody that you want to be proud of it, and
Yeah. They don't
you know
quite
you
have the
get the
reaction.
you get the reply like, oh, that's nice. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
okay.
Yes. Yeah. I can I can understand that. I think that is doubting it. Thanks, Annie. Doubting is definitely something that has, I think part of it is trying to, I've done this a lot in my life, to be honest with you, is just try to be like, not, it's hard to get there, but to not care. Because one thing I can tell you is I can send this card. Let's say I can send this card. I'm going to pick on you, Melissa. I'm going to send this card to Melissa. I'm not going to know what she's going to say because I'm not there when she opens it. So she might
Right.
be like, ah, but I'm the same way because it's kind of the same way with I love Christmas, but I hate opening Christmas gifts because somebody took the time to buy that for me and I love that they did. But if I don't react the way they expect me to react, I feel horrible. And it's
Right.
like, it's not because I don't love it. It's just kind of like, I'm like, oh yeah, I need this or whatever. But it is hard. It is very easy to doubt yourself. And I sometimes will put things away. I was telling Melissa this earlier. I was really struggling I started making something and I hated it. And I stopped and said, I don't have time for this. So let's do something else. So I think sometimes when you get into those, go back to something you really love. Go back to your basics, whether it's ink blending or stamping and coloring or die cutting or making messy backgrounds. A lot of times when I don't know what to do, I grab chroma mists and aqua pigments and just do ink smushing and put it away and let them dry. That way I can use them and put a stencil and put you know, some glaze over it or something like that. And it works, but that is, I think we all have those doubts, but
Yeah.
I think one other thing, and I hope this doesn't sound horrible. I don't want it. I don't mean it to sound horrible, but I've watched, I mean, you can watch my video and see that it's not perfect. I've got tape showing here, but I have watched some well-known people, and I've seen pictures of close-ups during the videos, and it's not that I'm picking up on mistakes, but I'm seeing little tiny things that if it was me, it would hurt. I would be like so upset with myself and know that it's okay. Like maybe a hair on a die or an embossing powder that I didn't quite flick off and they had a little bit of extra embossing powder. And I'm like, okay, well, I know these people do a lot more of this than me, so it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm using the super. I always get them mixed up. Which one
I
is?
think
Yep,
we
I'm
use
using the
the same
super.
one.
Yep,
Super
super
sentimental.
sentimental. Yep, and I'm going to choose. I don't know which one I want to use. I think my favorite saying in this whole thing is "Mr. Face,"
Yeah.
and I'm going to use it every time I use it. I think of my daughter, and I just like because I miss her face, and that is what I'm going to use. And I am going to stamp it in the Raven because I'm going to add some Raven splatter. And that is a key tip that I can tell anyone. If you're using embossing powder, especially black embossing powder, if you don't get it all off, add some splatter.
Yeah.
Yes, Kate, fear of hitting the, I just saw you, what you said, fear of hurting the giver. That is, it's not even that I'm trying to, it's just that, sometimes you don't react the same way that you, or maybe it's not the color you wanted, but it's exactly what you wanted. And so I've tried to be a little bit more open to it's okay. It really is the thought that's important. And I've said this on many times on lives. If my card's not perfect, I just send it to my mom or to my sister or to my best friend because they're never going to be mean about it.
Right. Oh, thank you, Annie. I like that. I like the teal too. I think
That's funny.
teal is just one of my go-to colors. I like that a lot.
Purple and teal are my two favorite
Yeah,
colors.
mine too.
All right. I should probably clean this stamp off while I'm here and be a good girl. And we'll use my Rainbow Wishes. It does smell very good. I have to know, I kind of want to know what the the thing that inspired it smells like in real life. The body spray stuff that inspired it.
So, and Ellen says sometimes I think I was more creative before I had so much stuff to choose from. I
Oh,
hear that,
yeah.
Ellen. Oh my goodness. It
Ellen, I can pretend I didn't see that comment. Thank you, Tia. That you're my sister, so of course you love my cards. Yes, Christy. Christy says are you finished there, Melissa? Do you want to talk about your card a little bit? And I'm going to add some splatter.
I am done. So this is a I guess it's a tri-fold card. And so what I did is I used the crosshatch stencil with some gilded embossing powder and then just decorated my other two strips. I made a belly band. I cut a tag from the Easy Elements die set. And then using the fall foliage die set, I just covered my tag. Um, and I added a little sentiment, and I have to be honest, I actually wanted hello, but I cut my strips too small. So
Oh,
I'm using you're amazing. It's the smallest sentiment in the whole set. No, actually, I think ooh la la is smaller.
yeah. Ooh la la. I think it's pretty small. Yeah.
Anyway, so yep, I added my sentiment and then just with some twine, cheap twine. I've had this roll probably for I don't know, 10 years probably, and it just doesn't seem to go away. But I pulled off a long length and I wrapped it all up so that I can have, several loops on my bow and just tied it on. I did cut a little circle from this paper to make a little what do you call those?
Oh, I know
Um,
what you're talking about. It's like it's the whole thing that I
yeah,
can't remember the
a
exact.
reinforcer.
There you
Uh,
go, reinforcer. That's perfect.
just a whole reinforcer, and then I use my crocodile to punch the hole, and there you go. And then I would, if you do this card, first of all, I would love to see it. So make sure you post it on the Brutus Monroe fan page. But one thing you have to be careful, if you do this loopy type bow, I can speak. Um, take it down and not up because the loops get stuck on here. But yeah, and then
It's
you
very
can
pretty.
slide the belly band off, and then there you can decorate more. You've got lots of room for a message, and yeah, really easy card. But I kind of like how this turned out. I hope you
I
do
really like
too.
how it turned out. I love the crosshatch because it looks like patterned paper, but it's not. And then it adds that pretty
Yeah,
sparkle. Can you open it again for me? Sorry, because
yeah,
I've been crafting.
yeah,
Okay, perfect. That's what I was looking for. Is like where you can put the where you would write your scent. Because like I said, I wasn't paying it close enough attention because I'm
yeah.
crafting. So I'm just dotting a little bit of. I'm using my paintbrush to dot a little bit of fallen snow on a couple of these, just to add because it's one of my it's my favorite glitter glaze. Um, and just add a little bit here for some extra sparkle. And I added some Raven Aqua Splash, some Copper Shimmer Aqua Splash, and to throw a little bit of Gilded in there, I did throw in just a hair of Gilded, the Ornamental Gold Chroma Mist, because I felt like the gold on my frame was a little not meshing well with the rest of it. Um, thank
Well,
you.
it looks amazing.
Thank you. And if you notice, see, here's the spot. I got two splatters of my Aqua Splash. So I just grabbed a piece of paper and covered it up. So when I splashed again, and then I'm going to go ahead and you know what? I got to do one more thing. You know what this easel doesn't have? It
A
doesn't have something
stopper.
to hold it in place. So let's see, what do I got here? We're going to do a couple of, I'm going to add this leaf right here. I think that'll be perfect. Oh, excuse me. I'll use my teeth to hold my glue.
So thank you for all your kind words about my cards, you guys. Candy, Walter. I mean, see, now I'm doing it. Francie,
It's all right.
Walter, everyone, thank you so much. Um, so Candy, you're gonna have to talk about this. Christy is asking about Jess's slumber party.
Okay. It is going to be for Jess's birthday party. Yep, it's one night virtual event in October to celebrate Jess's birthday. There is going to be a small little package of products, and I think we're going to do some crafting together, wearing our PJs, I believe. I don't think we're all going to be on camera, but can't quote me on that. Um, that's the basics of what I know so far. It's only $25 and it's under the Brutus Monroe events page. Or if you go, I believe, to the brutusmonroe.com and under the classes, it'll take you over there. I believe you have to sign up for that. Maybe a new account on there. I know I did. No big deal, but that's where the events will be. So that it's just a little bit easier. So you guys, thank you, Melissa. It's gorgeous. The cards are wonderful design and colored. Nice cards. Oh
Thank
yeah,
you.
yep. Here's at the top of the page is Jess's slumber party. If you want to click on that, I am going to that. I mean, I'm not teaching or anything at it, but I'm going to the slumber party. Oh, to the posters of cards on Facebook. Yes, Ruth. It's I think it's something we're gonna. I know it's getting towards the end of the year, but I think we're gonna do a little bit more so you guys see more about what. So you can put faces with names with the design team. It's been kind of a crazy year. Some of you know what's been a crazy year for a bunch of us. Beautiful cards, so pretty, great cards, lovely lit cards. Thank you guys so much for reading some of those. But I put my little stopper on, so when you go to close it, you could just kind of peek that little flower, little, and then you can pull it up and put it right there.
I think it's beautiful.
And I think if you really wanted to, what you could do is you could put a white oval on the back of this or a yellow oval on the back of this, and you could put your message on here if you didn't want to have your message on here. Oh, and yep, I was just thinking that fell apart, but it didn't. So thank you guys. It's just about time. I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream for you guys. So I appreciate you. I do want to mention you have another day or so to enter the CYOE challenge on the Brutus Monroe fan club, which is to use Velveteen Glaze. It's just a random draw. I put everyone's names in and you get a chance to win a $25 gift certificate. So thank you guys so much. Have a great night and don't forget to create your own ending. Yes, Christopher will go live tomorrow night.
Give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button.